Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. We've got a fantastic webinar on innovation mindset right now where you're going to learn the 4 C's of keeping your mindset strong and also a little bit of a guided meditation. Enjoy, and if you like, hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you. Today's webinar is going to be on innovation mindset as we kind of move closer to reopening, and some states like Utah, Texas, Florida, and some others have already reopened. We're getting a new kind of set of challenges. Is how are we going to reopen? What are we going to look like in terms of leadership for our teams and our businesses? How do we have to carry ourselves to be the best version of us still in this crisis? Because there's just new challenges that are coming up all the time. So we've been speaking, and Naveen's been kind enough to donate his time to us and help us with that innovation mindset. Let me give a quick background on Naveen for those of you who don't know him. He's a fantastic investor and entrepreneur. He's the lead investor and board member of Skykick. He's a founder of Innovation Bootcamp, which we'll talk about a little later. He's been a partner with Vulcan Capital, which is the investment fund of Paul Allen. He was the CEO and seed investor of Quickie. So he's been around the blocks. He's had some fantastic businesses, raised over hundreds of millions, and sold and exited businesses in the billion range. He's been featured in several TV networks like CNBC, Fox News, and so on and so on. We could talk all day about his accolades, but let me hand over. And first, thank you for taking the time and sharing innovation mindset with us, Naveen.
Thanks, buddy. Well, with that, I'm not sure I can follow up with that generous intro, but I appreciate everyone getting on the phone on a Sunday. Sunday is a great day to reset and get ready for the week. So everyone on this call is already being in the top 1% of committed to working on their mindset. When, you guys are all successful, you don't have to do this. You don't have to take this hour with me and Casey and each other and go through this, but you're focused on growth. And I appreciate that in everyone on this call. So I'll jump right into it. So this is a tough time in the world right now. As you're seeing online on social media and your own families, people are having so much trouble with their mindset, which is in some ways understandable, in some ways kind of funny, because most of us are sitting home. Yes, we have financial stress, but ultimately most of us are not in any real physical danger as long as we stay away from COVID-19. But it is hard because we live our lives ultimately in our own minds, right? All our experiences are internally created. How we respond to the world is internally created. So now we're getting really a chance, a crash course, a PhD crash course in mindset, whether all of us like it or not. So I've put together a quick framework that I've used and I've taught at places like Google, Microsoft, Deutsche Bank, Banco Santander, my own events so many times on how to create and maintain what I call the innovation mindset. The innovation mindset. And it consists of 4 C's. It is consistent, and the consistency comes from doing everything around that circle you see on your screen. Can you see that, Casey?
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Concentrate, contribute, create. And if you're consistent with those, you will develop one part of the innovation mindset. And just to give this a little context, one part of the innovation mindset is really getting rid of old ideas to make room for new innovative ideas. Getting rid of old ideas to make room for new innovative ideas. And that's something we're all seeing right now. We're in this brave new world, this online only world, this hopefully soon post-COVID-19 world. And that's what we're all going to be in very, very soon. But when I think about someone who really represents to me the innovation mindset, I don't need to think of Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. I just think about my dad. Because when my dad was graduating college in India back in the late 60s, he had an idea. He really wanted to create his own company, his own business. But in India back in those days, that's forever ago, it was basically impossible. And, he's not from a wealthy family. His dad worked for the government. So there was no money to start anything. So after he finished college, he went to work for an engineering company, a manufacturing place. And in this manufacturing plant, he was walking around the plant one day, the factory floor, and he noticed this big machine that wasn't doing anything. And, why would you even notice a machine that's not working? It turns out the machine was broken. Well, my dad, because he was so focused and so curious about getting out of India, he noticed that day that this broken machine had an address on the side of the machine, and it was a funny address in some place called Denmark. And there's no Google Maps back then, so I guarantee you he had no idea. He probably would never admit this, but he probably had no idea where Denmark was at the time back in those days. But he had the idea because he was so focused on leaving India and starting his entrepreneurial journey. He wrote that company in Denmark a letter, and the letter went something like this. It said, "India's a poor country. Your machine's broken. You need to teach me how to use it." And he sent this letter off, never expecting a reply. But about a month later, he got a funny looking envelope in the mail, and he opened it up, and it read something like this. It said, "Yes, we're sorry the machine's broken. Yes, you can come to Denmark. And yes, we'll teach you how to use it." So that sounds pretty amazing, pretty lucky. But there was only one no in the letter, and that was no, we will not pay for your plane ticket. So for most of us, we can all afford plane tickets to wherever we want. But my dad had no money, and it was a nice try, but he had absolutely no money for a plane ticket. I'm not even sure if there was foreign exchange between Denmark and India back in those days. So it was a nice try. But my dad is entrepreneurial and innovative, even amongst other innovators. So he did something that I think most of us on this call would probably think is crazy. He sold his motorcycle, which is all he had. He borrowed a bunch of money from a family friend, and then he liquidated his dad's entire life savings just to buy a one-way ticket to Denmark. But there was one further catch. What he didn't tell his family and friends is that he did not have a job in Denmark. He had a 90-day work permit. So after 90 days, he would be deported back to India with no job, no life savings, and clearly no motorcycle. But like I said, my dad was innovative even amongst other innovators, whether he knew it or not. So he's able to do a great job when he arrived in Denmark. They wanted to keep him on full time, and ultimately he worked in Denmark for a while, Germany, Canada, and all around the world for almost 10 years before getting to the US, saving enough money, and starting his first business. And so it just reminds us how lucky we are to be on this call on Zoom, talking from all over the country about innovation mindset. And we don't have to travel all over the world and wait 10 years and risk everything we have to start or continue our entrepreneurial journeys. So when I think about the moral of that story and how that applies to what we are doing today, the moral of that story is very simple. It's sell your bike. Sell your bike. Because one big part of the innovation mindset, and a mindset that's going to help you through this COVID-19 crisis, because as you know, it's going to be a new world when things open up. So the rules of the old world are not going to apply to the rules of the new world. Yes, of course, there's going to be some consistency, but there's going to be some key fundamental changes between the world we knew 2 months ago and the world that's opening up right now. So you're all going to have to sell your bike. You're going to have to get rid of some of your old ideas, even ideas, by the way, even ideas that have served you in the past, just like that bike served my dad pretty well before he sold it. But you got to get rid of those ideas to make room for new innovative ideas. So sell your bike. So this is not going to be, a monologue for 58 minutes. What I want you guys to do right now in the chat, or write it down, but you can welcome to jump in the chat and write down one idea. Write down one idea, Dr. Cam, in the chat that you need to get rid of to make room for some new innovative idea. And I'll give you 30 seconds to write that down, or even better, write it in the chat so everyone can see it. 30 seconds. What's one idea, either personally or professionally, that you need to get rid of right now to make room for a new innovative idea? 30 seconds, go. I'm going to think of one myself, Casey. Daryl, what's one old idea you got to get rid of, Daryl, to make room for a new innovative idea? Raj, what about you? Sheena? Carlos? Sean? I have all day to wait, so if no one wants to write in the chat, I know you're thinking about it, but we're going to wait to see if someone steps up and gets rid of one of their old ideas. Maybe it's something personal. Maybe it's something in your relationship life. Maybe it's something about your business. Maybe it's an assumption about an employee or a person. What's an old idea you can get rid of to make room for some new innovative idea?
And just to give some context around this, Naveen, is this kind of the story that people are telling themselves? Or actual, like, can you give us a tangible example?
Absolutely. This is exactly a story that they're telling themselves. For example, one of my coaching clients in Innovation Bootcamp, he flips houses in real estate. But he never really thought of himself as a real estate investor. He thought that was too high and mighty. That was just his story. But now he's rethinking of himself. He's saying, I'm not just a real estate flipper, I'm a real estate investor. And that may not sound like a big difference, but that is a massive shift in everything he's going to do for the next 3 years. So who he talks to, what conferences he goes to, what networks, how he dresses, everything in his life is going to change. Shoaib, fear of not doing enough, would that be one? Absolutely. That is 100% one. I had that fear for a long time. Daryl says, I need to get rid of the idea that I'm too good to get back in the dirt and cold call and lead generate like my employees do on a daily basis. Absolutely. Good job, guys. The chat's blowing up now. It took 45 seconds. You guys were 15 seconds late, but we're not counting.
It's Sunday afternoon. People are going to warm into it, right?
I should have gave 48 seconds. Now that the chat's crushing, I'll let it go. Amin said, the idea that I cannot compete with the best. Well, I mean, you're on this call, so you're already in the top 1% of people doing something on a Sunday to manage their mindset. So good for you. Absolutely. Sheena has the same one. Fear of failure. Yep. Excellent, guys. Excellent. So it's that simple. And I know that if we sat here for another minute, once you get warmed up in your mind, right, it is Sunday at 12 noon, you'll think of 10, 20 ideas that you can get rid of to make room for new innovative ideas. Diana says, not having enough skills, as opposed to being grateful for the many skills I know she has, right? There's all these little ideas that we just end up clogging our minds and they don't serve us. So we get rid of those. And I just want to give you guys some context. Great job, everybody. I want to give you guys some context on where Sell Your Bike fits into the innovation mindset. Because obviously, like, Sell Your Bike isn't the be all and end all of mindset, right? There's so many different things that ideas that can help your mindset. But when I talk about innovation mindset, I really break it down today in 3 separate things. And this is a pyramid for a reason. Casey and I have been doing a crisis leadership workshop that has been very well received because we're in a crisis. So how do you lead during the crisis? But what I realized, Casey, and actually I think it's something you told me, which is that, guys, everything we're doing in the crisis right now to streamline our business, to test our mindset, to be better, all this growth we're doing, you can continue this into the post-crisis world, right? You don't need to grow during the crisis, then forget about it, right? After the crisis is over, let's take these learnings of being more efficient and better at our mindset, and let's use those in the post-crisis world. So, and by the way, when you're an entrepreneur, how often is there a crisis, Casey?
All the time.
I mean,
it's constantly fighting fires every day.
Right? It's like every day, right? It feels like it's every day. So the concept of crisis leadership is something that we can use, even if it's not a huge crisis like a global pandemic. It can be any crisis or challenge in our business. And now and we won't go into that today because that's a whole 1-hour webinar. We can send you the replay. But when you got that fundamental down, that's the base. Then when you have that stability of the foundation, then you can sell your bike and get rid of your old ideas, like you guys just did in the chat, to make room for new innovative ideas. And we'll talk a little bit more about other concepts in the innovation mindset on this call. And then finally, the mindset of test and learn, which is the innovation process, which I teach at Innovation Bootcamp, which is really making your mind flexible, because your mind needs to be flexible for this new economy we're in, right? In the old days, things moved slow. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s and 90s, 2000s, whatever, they moved slow. But today, I mean, think about how fast COVID hit us, right? Today, most trends today are driven by some form of technology, whether mobile or social, right?
Our voice even right now is trending, right? With Alexa and Google Assistant and all these AI technologies that are kicking in.
Absolutely. And in most businesses, a 20% growth top line would be very fast. But in those businesses, when you take multiple tech trends, right, that are all growing exponentially, and then you put them together, what do you get? You get a situation, guys and girls, that our businesses cannot predict these trends quickly enough to prepare, right? So forget about the 5-year plan. Forget about the 3-year plan. Yes, you can make those plans. Those are good to make. But you have to have the mindset that's flexible so you can evolve with the trend. So testing and learning is all about making small adjustments quickly and cheaply, oftentimes for free, and moving with the trends, as opposed to trying to predict a trend that's unpredictable, moving with the trends as quickly as possible. So that's the basis of the innovation mindset, and we'll jump into that right now. But first, today we're talking really more about your personal mindset, right? Because your business is an organism as well, right? It's a group of people. It has its own energy. You can apply the innovation mindset very well to that. But today we're going to apply it to you as an individual. And the first thing you got to do is be consistent. It doesn't mean you need to, lift the world or run a marathon every day. But whatever you do every day in your daily routines, I would like you to be consistent. So what does that mean? I divided it with the two fancy icons, the body and the mind. We're not going to go into some, mind, body, new age stuff. We're going to give you practical things you can do right now in literally 5 minutes to totally shift your mindset, totally change every day from this day forward. It sounds like a big thing I'm going to deliver, but it's actually really, really easy. Number one, I'm going to start with something I call proactive nutrition. So I got my fancy innovation bootcamp glass here. It's filled with coffee right now, but it was filled with a vegan protein shake. I'm not saying you got to drink coffee. I'm not saying you got to drink a shake. I'm not saying you got to drink water. I don't care what you eat in the morning. But every single morning, whether you're fasting or whether you're having a shake or having something, make it proactive. Choose what you're going to fuel your body with. Even if it's a banana in the morning, I don't care what it is, but you are choosing it. You're making that first decision that, hey, I choose what's going to go in this body. It sounds so simple, but it is so important. Second bullet, workout or stretching. Now, again, you don't have to do this, but I would highly recommend that even if you're stretching literally for 3 or 5 minutes when you wake up in the morning, man, that is huge. It gets blood flowing. It gets you in a frame of mind. And by the way, if you stretch for 3 minutes and have your vegan protein shake that takes 2 minutes to make, in those 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, you have already started winning your day. You've already started winning your day. You've already started making little dents in your mindset. Third bullet, meditation quiet time. We're going to get to that in a little bit because the second C is concentrate. So I'll dig down. But, Tim Ferriss, who's a good buddy of mine from college, he analyzes all these high performers, right? And one thing he said in his book, one of his books, was that every high performer, and these are like the best of the best in the world, right? Every high performer does some form of meditation, some form. It could be journaling. Some of these runners get this runner's high, right? I hike. I actually also meditate. Whatever it is for you, I'm not going to say you got to be the Buddha every day, okay? But some form of meditation. It does not need to be achieving nirvana. It just means closing your eyes for 3 minutes and thinking about Game of Thrones. That counts, right? You will get better over time. But if you do 3 to 5 minutes every day in the morning, it's going to make a monster difference in your life. I know you have 3 minutes to do this. You know this is important. I'm not the first person to tell you this. But some form of meditation is what all high performers use. If you want to be a high performer, I mean an ultra high performer, you have to do some form of meditation. Just please start with 3 minutes. 4, some sort of nature hike or walk outside. Again, 5 minutes. we're all inside right now. This is especially important right now. There's all sorts of woo-woo stuff on it I can go into on this, but I'm not going to. But some form of getting outside fresh air during this COVID, socially distanced with the mask, of course, all that stuff is so important right now. Even if it's 5 minutes, it makes a huge difference. By the way, pro tip, do this at 2 or 3 in the afternoon when you're having that natural lull, especially if you have a lot of carbs for lunch. Get that natural lull, put a thing on your calendar. If it's not 5 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes. Go outside, walk outside for 15 minutes. It'll totally change your day. It'll make you so much more productive from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Everybody with me here? If you're with me, write down the word nature in the chat. If you're with me. If you're not with me, just keep falling asleep. That's fine. Nature, I'm in. You're all over, buddy. All caps. He's all caps nature. Excellent. Okay. People are awake. Good job, guys. And number 5, this is something I've been telling folks lately, is that something to look forward to, which, by the way, how much time does that take? Like 4 to 5 seconds? Literally, my something to look forward to yesterday was making an 800-calorie butternut squash, fully carb-loaded ravioli. It's not my perfect meal, but it was Saturday night, and I said, you know what? I'm going to have a glass of wine, and I'm going to have this like monster carb, extra sugar pasta dinner, right? And I was looking for, even though I just put it in my mind as like a thought, which took 1 second in the morning, all day I was like, man, it's going to be a great meal at 7:30 p.m. And just that small thing makes you 10, 20% more effective, 10, 20% happier, each of these things together, right? Or one of them alone. By the way, if the average age of this call is 40 years old, what is 20% of the next 40 years of your life? It's 8 freaking years, guys. So being 10 or 20% more effective in your life is monstrous. It is adding years of productivity to your life. By the way, it's not adding years of sleep. It's adding years of productivity, right? We're talking about just a productive time. So just being like 5, 10, 20% more productive, if we can get you there, people are going to say, what happened to this person? They're like, so much more efficient. But really, truly, it's adding hours and days and months and years to your life. Okay, cool. Consistent. Those are your daily routines. What I want you to do before the next one, I want you to pick, we threw out a lot of ideas, right? And I know you have your own ideas too. There's probably things you guys know about. I couldn't put everything on this slide, right? So pick one thing that will take not more than 5 minutes. I've only earned 5 minutes of advice to give you so far. I'm only going to take 5 minutes of your time every day for the rest of your life. So pick one thing that will only take 5 minutes, not 6, 5 minutes that you can add to your daily routine and put it in the chat. One thing, 30 seconds. I'm going to get a water. I'll give you 30 seconds. I expect the chat to blow up. 30 seconds, go. Casey, you're in charge while I'm gone.
Yeah, so for me, I start my morning, or at least I did before this whole COVID kicked off, with going to the gym, working out at least for 45 minutes, jumping in the sauna, and I would do my breathing work and my kind of meditation in the sauna at the same time. And then after I'd finished that, still while in the sauna, I would then do a daily journal of kind of just what success looked like for that one day. So all in all, before even doing anything on my phone, on social media, on emails, I would have hit the gym, I would have meditated, done breathing work, and wrote success for that day, all before I'd even started. So that I had a clear path of guidance. So that was my my regime. I need to get back into that. I've been slacking a little bit while I've been cooped up at home, but it was working really well for me.
That's awesome. I'm reading the chat. Amin says midday pause. Dana says nature hikes, planks. Yeah, plank is something you do in 60 seconds. It's going to change totally how you feel and move for the rest of the day, right? It's literally going to change how you move for the rest of the day. That's a really good one. Draw something every day to keep creativity moving. Love that one. I haven't even heard that in all the calls I've done. This is really good, guys. Closing eyes meditation, stretching. Lord, I need it. Yeah, no, trust me. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Practice nutrition, breathing, quiet time. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Well done. Shoaib, I was going to tell you, Shoaib, like, I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, but you said stretching, Lord, I need it. You know, I got to tell you, I started doing some stretching every day for the last 4 months. And it really only took like five, like not even five, I think it takes 6 minutes technically. Okay. So it's more than 5 minutes. It's more than 5 minutes. I admit it's 6 minutes. But the big key there is I've literally been doing it every single day. And of course, if you do 5 days a week, that is a win. So don't think you can miss one day and you're a loser, right? But after doing this for the last 4 months, every single day, 100% of my back pain is gone. It's like magic. It's not like I did something special. I didn't use like some special massage person or Rolfing or any of this fancy stuff. Just basic stretching, yoga stuff, 6 minutes. And it is like a 100% difference. Not because I...
Naveen, it kind of reminds me of David Goggins. I don't know if you've read his book. I see you post
Yes.
about him now and then, but he does hours of stretching every single day, right? And it's helped him tenfold in becoming an ultra athlete.
Yeah, he does a lot of stretching every day. But what I want to highlight for you guys is that you don't need to do a lot to make a big difference, right? You don't need to do a lot to make a big difference. 5 minutes a day adding to your daily routine, and you have all great stuff, is going to make a monster difference. So let's get to number 2, the second C, concentrate. Concentrate. What does that mean? Well, it means that you got to put your own mask on first before you can help anyone else, right? You got to own your own mind before you can lead your team, lead your family, serve your customers, whatever you're doing. We all have a bias for action, right? I know if you're on this call, you are an action-oriented person, right? You have a packed schedule, your time's limited, you take action. But before you take action, if you can get your mind right and put that mask on for yourself, you're going to be such a better leader for everybody around you, and especially for your business. So concentrate. Here's a few ideas, again, that goes back to our daily routines that you can do to help you concentrate. Because not everyone on this phone is going to want to meditate for 5 minutes, and that's okay. But there's so many other things you can do. You can journal for 3 minutes. Write 3 bullets about, and you can Google this if you want, just write like, gratitude journaling. A lot of ideas will come up. You can write 3 things you're grateful for. You can write what you're looking forward to. You can write about why you're grateful for KC in this webinar. You can write why something to look for, whatever you want to journal about. Just please don't make it a to-do list. As long as you don't make it to, you draw a picture, you like to art, whatever you want to do, but some form of journaling is a super easy way, an active way to concentrate. And for you super type A people, you will feel like you're doing something, and you'll be getting a emotional, spiritual benefit while you feel like you're doing something. Third bullet, breathing exercises. Again, there's so many breathing exercises that we could talk about here, right? Affirmations, which Tony Robbins loves, which is just saying to yourself in a strong voice, whatever you want to be. I am energy. I am focus. I am love. I am whatever it is, right? So I can't go through each of these. These are each, 5-minute little mini webinars, but I just want to give you some ideas and options and techniques. So by the end of this call, you're going to be overwhelmed with 20 techniques that you can do. Just choose one. Don't choose 20, just choose one. That's enough. Oh, here's some ideas, KC, like we talked about before everyone joined the call. And we're going to send you guys a replay, so you don't need to memorize or write this down. But whether it's Calm or Headspace or Tim Ferriss's stuff or Wim Hof's ice baths, which I like to do, Joe Dispenza's meditation, Sadhguru's meditation, there's so many free resources out there, or basically free resources that you can use to help you concentrate. So you don't have to figure this out on your own, guys. It's all been figured out for us. Like we know, every piece of information is pretty much out on the internet. So it's all out there for us. Just copy and paste what others are doing. Guys like Tim, his life mission is, and Tony, their life mission is literally to help you. So take them up on their mission and let them help you. And with that, I thought, KC, with your permission, I thought we could just do a little 5-minute meditation with everyone on the phone as a group, just as an example of what's possible in literally 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great way to kind of transition into what a good mindset or how you could start your day and get in the right frame of mind is. So take it away.
Perfect. So here's what we're going to do. And for those of you who don't meditate, we're just going to do some basics, right? So here's why I didn't meditate for 41 years of my life is because, well, one, I'm Indian, so I should be a master. I should be like, I should be like Sadhguru right out of the gates. It turns out, big surprise, that meditation, just like running, just like weightlifting, just like golf, just like tennis, you have to practice it. It's a practice for a reason. You don't start out running the marathon day one. You're going to kill yourself. Same thing with meditation. You don't start meditating for 6 hours in a jungle, with no music playing. Start with 3 minutes and think about Game of Thrones. That counts. Okay? So by setting the bar for where you're at, you will feel good about yourself when you do it. You feel like you accomplished something. You'll get better. And one day you will run the marathon, but that'll be in a year from now. There is no rush. So that's why we're going to start with a simple 5-minute meditation. I would highly recommend you keep your eyes closed, but no one's watching you. So sit up in your chair. Now let's just do a little stretch here, right? Because when you are taking a break from work, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to be sitting in your chair and you're going to be like, man, my back hurts. So just do the same thing. Take a little stretch. Sit up in your chair. Hey, if you want to slouch, go ahead and slouch. I don't care, right? You don't got to be sitting perfectly. One thing I would recommend is have your feet on the ground. So if you're one of these people that likes to fidget around a lot, this is maybe the next 5 minutes. Don't do that. Just put your feet flat on the ground and sit up straight in your chair. Casey, one day we got to hire a DJ for these workshops. But right now, I'll just use.
A good DJ that we met the other day on House Party app. I'll get him on the next one.
But for right now, I'll just use my phone. And so just sit up straight in your chair and close your eyes. And just give yourself a few seconds to get comfortable. Adjust your clothes, adjust your feet, adjust your hands. You can put your hands on your thighs, on your knees. You can put them face up if you want, pointing the sky. But just get whatever position is comfortable for you. There is no perfect position. Whatever position will help you forget about your body is the perfect position for you. And I'd like you to please take 3 deep belly breaths. And with each inhale, I want you to feel your lungs filling with air. And feel how, as your lungs fill, they naturally stabilize your back and spine. And with each breath, feel your back becoming straighter, effortlessly straighter as your lungs fill with air. Now, place your awareness where your feet touch the ground. Place your focus and energy where your feet touch the ground. And feel how solid the ground is underneath you. Feel how solid the earth is underneath the ground. And breathe into that point of focus. Breathe into the infinite magnitude of the earth beneath us. And feel yourself supported during these challenging times. Feel yourself supported by the earth. And breathe into that feeling. Breathe into that energy. And feel gratitude. Feel grateful for that support. That support that's always with us. And with your next 3 breaths, with each inhale, pull that energy from the earth up into your body, into your feet, ankles, calves. Pull that energy up with your inhale. Feel that invisible energy entering and energizing your body with each inhale. With each inhale, feel that energy, feel your focus rise within your body, higher and higher, through your legs, waist, slowly rising, slowly pulling that energy with your breath. And in the next 3 breaths, pull that energy up into your chest, near your heart. Fill your chest with both air and energy from the earth in the next 3 breaths. And place your focus around the space of your heart, in the middle of your chest, and feel a sense of warmth or tingling or lightness within your chest. Use your breath. Use a gentle focus to cultivate that feeling of warmth, of gratitude, of connection that you know is there within the center of your chest. And make that feeling stronger with your next 3 breaths. Allow that warmth to gently rise within your body, to gently float and follow that warmth with your focus. And let it rise up into your shoulders. With each breath, let it rise a little bit higher. Feel that warmth in your throat, the source of your voice. And with the next 3 breaths, let it rise into your head and mind. And feel that energy above your spine and behind your eyes, in the back of your head. Feel how light and warm your energy is. And now, with our last few breaths, breathe into that energy and push it upwards, straight up, so it floats higher through your head, above your head. And use your breath as energy for that feeling, for that warmth, to just gently float up and up and up. And in your mind's eye, see that ball of energy that you've created. See that gentle ball of energy float up like a little cloud, higher and higher with each breath. And see that energy merging with the sky or the clouds. And with our last 3 breaths, we choose one simple word to describe our feeling now. And with our last 2 breaths, we gently come back to now. So on your own time, you can just come back to here. And in the chat, just write down that one word or one feeling that you had during the meditation. Peace, calm, warmth, freedom, strength, serenity. Those are all the feelings that are available to all of you in 5 minutes. How is that going to impact the rest of your day if you start your day with 5 minutes of meditation? It's going to make a very, very big impact. And again, whether it's journaling as meditation or just closing your eyes like we did and turning on some light music and thinking about what you're grateful for, or thinking about your body, or just remembering what we did here, or maybe Casey, when we send this out, we'll send them a meditation. That will make a big impact on your day.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to send along a meditation. We'll send that out when we send this out with the link. And yeah, I totally agree, Naveen. You know, getting clear and grateful is definitely a great way to start the day, and getting oxygen into the body, breathing properly. There's a lot of benefits to that.
And if you have this perspective, thank you, Casey. And if you have that perspective that Casey just outlined, you're going to be in a very good mental frame of mind to contribute, which is a perfect segue to the third C, which is contribute. And why is this the best time to contribute? Because right now everyone's at home, everyone's feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit uncertain. Maybe you're not, because we're all leaders on this call. Maybe we're very certain. We need to give some of that warmth and certainty to other people. This is actually the best time to build relationships. The best time to build relationships, because when else can you ask a customer or a patient, Dr. Cam, how's your grandparents doing? How are your parents doing? Are you guys okay? Like, the level of conversation, folks, that you can have with pretty much a complete stranger or an acquaintance or a customer is like at another level, right? You can talk to folks now like they were not that they were your best friends per se, but like they're your best friends. You can ask them about their family and their kids, because you're caring about actually how they're doing and their health. Are they alive? You know, are they mentally alive, right? This is a very unique time in history where this can happen, where the entire world, everyone in your network is having a shared experience right now, right? You know, when you go to a concert and everyone's like, you know, jamming to whatever, living on a prayer, hopefully, or something good, right? This is the same thing, not as fun as going to a concert, but we're all having the shared experience. So this is commonality, and a real depth of commonality, which really gets back to our basic human instincts of survival. So use that in a positive way and build those relationships. Take the time to contribute to others. And obviously your family, friends, and colleagues, you probably already are, but also your customers, right? Don't treat your customers like they're just money bags. Treat them like they're people, like they are. Trust me when I tell you, everybody is going to remember how you treated them during this crisis and how you behaved. Everyone's going to remember, because it's a deeply sensitive time. This is like, it's not, you know, a 9/11, but it's something like that, right? We're going to remember this 3-month period. So let's be remembered well, right? Let's get our morning routines down. Let's get ourselves in a place where we can contribute to others. And I promise you, people will remember that for 5 years. I send my nephews and niece these, you know, they're young, little presents all the time, like educational stuff. And my brother said to me in a text, he's like, you know, it's like Christmas for them. They're always going to remember for the rest of their life that Uncle Naveen sent them all these presents to keep them going during this crisis. I didn't think about it that way. That wasn't my intent, right? But that's, you know, he makes a good point. That's probably what's going to happen. It's going to happen for you all too. Really quick, social media, passive, low-level connection, phone call, whatever, it's okay. But the Zoom call, this webinar, I can see you guys, that's a high-level connection. Take the time, the extra 4 seconds of time to send out a Zoom link if you're going to talk to your parents or your family, because it makes a huge difference. And then for your team, for your business specifically, ramp up your one-on-ones, ramp up your virtual meetings via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or something. Virtual happy hours have been very, very successful at Skykick. You know, my company Skykick was ranked the #1 cloud company to work at in Seattle, which, you know, Seattle, the cloud literally lives in Seattle, right? So to be ranked the #1 company to work at in Seattle by Forbes is a big deal. And the team over there is doing an unbelievable job in keeping the culture better than ever with things like virtual happy hours, check-ins, and one-on-ones. Just, it's nothing fancy. It just takes a little bit of effort, and you need to manage your own mindset so you can take that extra 5% of time to think about how you can impact others, and you're going to make a massive difference if you just do that. And we're going to send out this replay so you don't have to memorize this slide. I checked in on my Pilates instructor last week. She's having a really hard time because no one can come and train with her. So just talking to her for 30 minutes about that stress, I mean, it gave her a lot of, hopefully gave her a lot of comfort. So just like the people in your life that maybe you don't think about as your best friends, you can check in on one or two of them and it makes a huge difference. I found out I was the only person out of the 20 people that my housekeeper cleans, I was the only person to give her 3 months of cash up front now when she needed it so she could pay her rent. I was so surprised that no one in wealthy Park City was doing that besides me. I didn't think it was that big a deal, you know? But these little things that you can do as a powerful leader for other people that may not be in the same position will go a long, long way right now. And finally, when you do these three things, you will only be in a position to create. And this is really the growth part of it. I wanted to get you guys level set, right, with the first 3 C's. And now you're in a position to create when you do this right, when you do this consistently. And we only have a few minutes left. We'll probably go over, so it's not a big deal. You can leave if you want in 8 minutes, but if you're enjoying this, please stay. I'm happy to stay for another 15 minutes and give you guys some more tips. I'm guessing most people will stay on. So the first creation, and by the way, we're going to crowdsource this right now, guys, because I'm not the keeper of all the information of what you guys are going to create, right? What kind of knowledge can you create for yourself right now? Well, number one, you're on this call, so clearly you're doing something right? We're all doing something right. I've been reading a lot of Audible books that I've been putting off, right? I've been reading The War. I'm just going to, if anyone's got a great book that they're reading right now that they think people would benefit from, typing it in 5 seconds, you could change someone's life. So go ahead. If you're reading a book right now, jab, 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 right hook. Oh, Gary Vee. Gotta love Gary Vee. I like Gary Vee. Krush, Way of the Wolf. Is that Jordan? What's his name's book? The Wolf of Wall Street?
Jordan Belfort, yeah.
Belfort, yeah. I get his emails. I love his emails. They're hilarious. Sapiens, another great one. I'm reading Superhuman. I just downloaded that yesterday, Cam. I'm reading The War Against Normal People by Andrew Yang, which is pretty much, you have to read this book. It's unbelievable in terms of what's going to happen in the next 20 years. So reading a good book right now that we all have been putting off, that's a great way to create some knowledge. Educational podcast, Tim Ferriss or someone else, Jocko Willink. There's so many out there. I don't need to go through 5 of them. That is going to help a lot in terms of creating knowledge. So a lot of great books in the chat. Number 2, create skills. Create skills. What kind of skills you can create? Again, I'm not the keeper of the infinite skills you got to create. It's for you. I have a typo there, so I can learn to spell. That'll be good for me. Learn to cook. Learn yoga via Zoom. What are some things you guys are learning right now that you never had the time to learn before? I put on here kind of tongue in cheek, learn some morning routines for everybody. Learn how to fix my bike. I'm going to do that next week, actually, too, Casey. So learning mixology. Kapil, that's pretty cool.
Coming over to Capil's for some drinks.
Very nice. So you can learn some knowledge. You can create some knowledge. You can create some skills. And finally, you can create some opportunities for other people, right? In line with the concept of contribution. What opportunities can you create? Well, for my niece and nephews, I'm creating opportunities by sending them all these science kits that they're getting, that they're learning, and that creates a lot of opportunities for them. Personally, I'm creating opportunities by doing all these webinars with KC and a few other friends who also are, working with small businesses and entrepreneurs to create some knowledge and opportunities for other people. So put that in the chat too. What opportunities can you create for your team? What opportunities can you create for your family right now? One great thing we're all seeing is that we're all doing these like family Zooms. And I feel like I'm talking to my family like 10 times as much, not even like twice as much, but like 10 times as much as I did before the crisis, right? So what opportunities can you create for other people? So to review on the creation, you can write down whatever you want in the chat, help somebody else out by giving them some ideas. What skills, what knowledge can you create for yourself or someone else? What skills can you create for yourself or someone else? Or what opportunities can you create for you, your team, or someone else? I'm going to give you guys just 20 seconds. write it in the chat because everyone's reading the chat. So we're getting a lot of good ideas just by crowdsourcing these ideas. All right, good, go. I'm reading some of the chat right now, that's why I'm not saying anything. KC, improve keto cooking. Keto, sorry. I don't know why I read keto as keto.
Yeah, I'm down 20 pounds on my keto diet, so
Wow.
I'm feeling the benefits of that.
Wow. Help people with coping skills during this time. I mean, I can tell you all this new content I've created around crisis leadership and innovation mindset. I had this stuff before, but I never had full presentations on it before, right? So I created that sort of on my own, sort of for fun, a month or so ago, and now it's contributing to hundreds of people, which is not to say I'm so great. It's just that, you know, you can create something for yourself and then spread it around a little bit, and you'd be surprised about the impact that you can have, each and every one of us. Teaching people how to animate and edit on YouTube. I could use some help with that, Shoaib, actually. Relationship building skills adjustment for our team.
Yeah,
helping people cope.
That's a good one on Udemy classes. You know, there's lots of platforms out there: ClassShare, Udemy, Skillshare. There's a LinkedIn one. There's lots of platforms now that are offering a lot of great classes. That's a good one, that Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I have my innovation bootcamp on Kajabi.
Kajabi, yeah, that's another good one.
You basically upload your videos, and then you can create your own online class for, you know, basically free, essentially. Casey and Dr. Cam and Daryl, I'm excited you guys are going to be in Innovation Bootcamp next time around.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a good one.
So great. So we did a lot of good things today, guys. And you guys were creating the examples, not me. So I just put examples on this slide because why do I need to create the examples? You can create the examples for yourself. And when you do this consistently, when you concentrate with meditation, journaling, breathing, when you contribute to others, when you're put yourself in a position to create and do this consistently, you are going to be a master of your mindset. And you are really, truly going to have the first step of what I teach, which is called the innovation mindset. And what to review, remember, this is just one part of it. This is the middle. I use Sell Your Bike as sort of the middle for today, which is getting rid of old ideas to make room for new, innovative ideas. So when you get the crisis leadership right at the bottom, bringing it back to the beginning of this call, when you create your mindset with the 4 C's like you did in this hour-long webinar, then you are ready to really ramp up your business. Then you're really ready to lead. And that's called testing and learning, which we're not going to get into today. That's a whole, 20 video series that we go through about how to really ramp up and test and learn your business and use these mindset techniques, not just to make yourself calm, not just to make yourself happy. That's all well and good, and that will happen, but to truly accelerate your business and double or triple it within a few months. You'd be surprised what is possible when you get your mindset in the right place, when you create an innovative and flexible mindset and you're willing to test and learn and you apply the process properly. I mean, the sky's the limit in what you can do. So I'll just tie it back to the innovation mindset. And I'll leave it at that, Casey. I think we went a little over. I know you wanted me to talk about, actually,